Well, it is embarrassing to Gibraltar to have this raised in the way it was. The government cannot say it's entirely surprised, because I'm not surprised, because I actually mentioned this in the motion I raised last year, calling for the creation of a Public Accounts Committee. And when I visited the Jersey CPA meeting last year, I found that the whole idea of Public Accounts Committee was right at the top of the agenda. And I actually mentioned this in my motion. Unfortunately, the government saw fit not to vote in favour of the creation of the Public Accounts Committee.
Why is it so important?
It's what we all care about. It's about the spending of your tax pound. It's how government revenue is raised. It's how efficient government spends the taxpayers' money. It's something which I think we can all agree. It's something we're all interested in.
So about scrutinising value for money, but not the actual policy per se?
That's correct. I mean, the idea of the Public Accounts Committee is quite an old one. Westminster's had one for way over 100 years. And the idea is not to scrutinise government policy, but more the implementation of it. So if, for example, take our Commonwealth Park, it wouldn't be looking at, well, why did you create a park? It's going to be, well, how much did the park cost? Could it be done for cheaper? Is the maintenance contract, value for money? That sort of thing, not the government policy itself. It's about protecting taxpayers' money.
The Chief Minister says we can't take a one-size-fits-all approach to this, and just because Westminster has one in their Parliament, it doesn't mean that the Gibraltar Parliament needs to have a Public Accounts Committee here.
Well, of course, I will differ with that view, as I have done in Parliament, not just once, but twice, when he introduced his own counter-motion saying that we didn't need one. I am of the firm belief that in order to enhance transparency, we need one in Gibraltar. The idea that one size doesn't fit all doesn't actually negate the principle of a Public Accounts Committee. And I'm quite willing to work with the Chief Minister and the government to come up with a formula that does work. Just to say that if you take the whole thing wholesale, we're not going to do any of it, is not the right approach to say, well, look, we like the idea is sound, let's find a way to implement it. And I'm in favour of a more positive approach rather than just dismissing it out of hand.
What would you say to anyone who finds it somewhat objectionable for an outside body to come to Gibraltar to tell us how we should run our own parliament?
Well, it is merely a suggestion, and as was said, they will be in the gentlest possible way suggesting to us that this is something we really should consider. And look, we can't claim to want to be more Commonwealth and then on the other hand dismiss Commonwealth ideas. This is something that is throughout the Commonwealth. It was telling that we were the only ones within this region that didn't have the Public Accounts Committee. And again, it's in my view, it's a no-brainer. I cannot see why the government is so fixated on not having one. I think it can only be good for Gibraltar as a whole, and it can only be good for the taxpayer.